Hey everyone! The last couple of days I've been thinking quite a lot about our quest system, especially about randomization of generic quests. The way we handle generic quests so far has not been satisfying, so we needed a better solution. When I get intrusive thoughts like that, I usually go for a hike and try to come up with a solution. Well, and that is exactly what I did. I went out to nature and, well, just thought about stuff. But well, to tell you a little bit more about the problem and about the solutions I came up, let me frame all of that and let me do a little bit of explaining. So far we wanted to give each city a handful of city-specific quests. This already works, and as an example, if you beat one of these city-specific quests, which usually have a small story attached, you unlock a second quest and so on. And after quest, usually this will result in a very hard quest or a dungeon at the end. And a good example would be the Samsion quest line, where you uncover a circle of slave traders, and in the end you will progress and find more and more information, and then you will find the hideout of the slave traders and, well, will try to beat them up so that they stop the criminal activity. So this is a city-specific quest line which will only occur in the city of Samsion. But additionally, we also planned to create worldwide generic quests. A quest like our famous quest Wolf's Blood. A generic quest where a farmer asks you to drive away a couple of wolves who had attacked his cattle. And this quest could basically occur everywhere, right? But currently I see a problem with this kind of generic quests. Initially we planned to handcraft all of these quests, similar to city-specific quests, so this is how we handle it right now. But that would first of all result in tons of work, and even worse, a lot of repetitiveness. I mean, slaying wolves the 100th time might be unfun. And it will also be a bit strange if, for instance, you get the quest Wolf's Blood in the city of Samsion, but they send you to the other side of the world, just because there we have like the quest position. So a lot of bad thought out stuff in our current system. So no, I feel the idea about the generic quests is good in general, but it needs to be refined. Something I also have to add is that probably most of the quests you will encounter in Kingsblood will be generic quests. Since like now we introduced the reputation system, right? You will need about 15 to 20 quests to push a city to the highest level of reputation. And per city you will have about, let's say, 3 to 5 city-specific quests. But what is with the rest? So most of the rest will be generic quests, right? So what we should do is, we should not handcraft these generic quests, but we should completely randomize these quests. So this will also be very fun for the player, I hope. So he will never encounter the same stuff, but always random encounters. But how can we randomize these quests? And I thought about the following. We have a JSON file called city details. In this file, the story, name, faction, etc. of a city are described. And I feel we should extend this file. So what we could do is that we give each city about 6 to 7 quest spawning positions, which are layered around the city. Now we could also completely randomize these quest positions, but I would be a bit afraid that a quest might also fall into a river or similar. So I think it would make more sense to define 6 to 7 fixed quest positions, and that is where random quests can occur. So now we can define those based on a X and Y axis, and each position then also gets a name and gets attached multiple biomes, which can pop up at that position. For that, we also might need an enumeration of possible biomes, and we currently don't have that enumeration or even a biome JSON file. And I currently thought about the following biomes: city biome, snow biome, swamp, dungeon, cave. We already have dungeon and cave. We also already have outside world, forest. We also have mountains. So we have the most important biomes, but still a couple others are missing. But what would we do now with those biomes, right? Now let's say we have a chance to either get a generic quest or a story city-specific quest. Let's say we get a new quest, it is a generic quest. Then we will choose one of those positions. Per city we have like 6 or 7 positions. But then we will also draw a random biome, okay? But who do we face in this biome, right? For this I thought we should also extend another JSON file, our enemy group.json file. This is something we hadn't talked about before in any other devlog, but we used to only have a normal enemies.json file. In this enemy JSON file, every enemy was listed individually, and we could manually write down that an enemy should pop up in, for instance, a quest. Pretty boring and static, to be honest. And everything would be predefined. But now we added, and this is what we already have. This is not the new concept. We already have this. We added onto that system by being able to create complete enemy groups. Let's take a look at this JSON file, the enemy groups.json. In this JSON, we were able to group together different enemies into a group. So if you call this group in the quest.json file, random enemies from the group will appear in combat. Alright, that is what already worked. The new idea now would be that we also give information in the enemy group.json where these kind of enemy groups can appear, in what kind of biome. E.g., a thief, for instance, can appear pretty much in every biome, whereas a crocodile most likely would only appear within a swamp. So after deciding where a quest should pop and in what biome, we could randomly find an enemy group which naturally can appear in such a biome. Now about quest traits. Quest traits define the characteristics of a quest. E.g., a quest can be inside the darkness with undead enemies. Some heroes might be afraid of darkness, some might strive under such conditions. This is our motivation system and it is already fully implemented. But every quest has to have these traits. Let's take a look at the quest.json. Here you can see some examples. We need to generate these quest traits as well. This time not randomly, but derived from the characteristics of a biome. For this we might need an additional biome JSON, which we do not have yet, as well as from the characteristics of the enemy groups. And these you can find here. Another idea could be to glue the characteristics directly to the enemies.json, but I feel it might make more sense to put it onto the enemy groups.json. Now still missing would be the quest texts, which we also have to create randomly or generically. And we can put them together based on the location in the city details.json and what we write down in the enemies group.json. As an example, here we have a band of human thieves has been plundering, and now we go to the next JSON, the streets of Samsion. And then we would just need a generic accept message like, would you mind taking care of this problem? Et voila, we are done. Finally, we would only have one open problem, which is how many enemies will appear. This, though, will be an integral part of our difficulty system, and we might talk about this soon, but probably not yet. All of what I have talked about today is just conceptualization, so most of what you have seen here is not implemented yet. Still, I feel it might work out very well, and maybe in another devlog we might talk about its implementation. But with that, I really feel we would have a cool and robust system, which also saves us a lot of energy, as we won't have to create hundreds of generic quests by hand. Anyways guys, if you liked this episode, then subscribe to this channel, wishlist us on Steam. We appreciate every one of you and hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye, see you soon.